Look at the pretty cactus garden, everybody. Check it out. It's actually my favorite. My favorite types of plants are cacti. I know if I said cactus,
It's actually, you say cacti for plural.
fuck your mother. So I don't, I'm gonna make this video. I don't know exactly even how to frame it or like where to begin. So I'm just gonna talk, and we'll see what happens with this. So I'm gonna talk about like sobriety and being comfortable in your own skin and the burden of self-improvement. And I think that a lot of people can relate to this. It's something that I've been dealing with a lot lately. So let me just start from the top here. So I'm 30 years old. I'm 30 years young. Okay. The first time I ever really tried a drug or alcohol, I was 15 years old. I got really drunk with my friend. We drank liquor and all that. And then I started smoking weed. And then essentially since I was 15 years old, I've pretty much on a regular basis, used some kind of intoxicant, on a regular basis to fill the void, to combat boredom, to alleviate the responsibility and the burden of self-improvement. Now obviously through my teen years it was, drinking alcohol, beer, liquor, stuff like that. Obviously smoking a lot of weed. Occasionally I would dabble in pills, tried cocaine a few times in high school. And then I was essentially just a big pothead, all the way from like the time I was, basically in high school till about 29 years old. So like for 11 years basically I was a pothead. And from the time I was about 26 to the time I was around 28, for a couple years there, I was regularly involved in doing drugs like LSD, MDMA, ketamine. And I always tried to justify it. I always tried to rationalize it as, oh, I'm just expanding my mind. Oh, I'm just expanding my mind. And these psychedelic drugs, I'm using them to learn. And I'm not gonna, now, hear me out. I do believe that certain psychedelic drugs, such as, like DMT, LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, so on and so forth, I do believe that if used responsibly and used with a positive purpose, I do really believe that there is something to be learned from these experiences, these substances, whatever. But obviously, when I buy a bunch of ketamine and I lock myself in my room and I snort lines of ketamine all night, mindlessly watching YouTube and staring at the fucking wall, and doing it to the point where I can't even breathe through my nose because my face is so clogged up with ketamine powder. And to the point where you're blowing off, like I had a personal training business in Cambodia, and there were times where I would have to let my clients know that I couldn't train them because I was too fucked up, or because I would be too hungover, or sick the next day basically. And then I got into hardcore opiate and benzo abuse, which everybody who has been watching my channel knows about. But my point is that over the years of my life, like up until now, it's gotten progressively worse and worse and worse with, my interest in getting fucked up, my interest to fill the void, my interest in doing a substance to rather than improve myself and make myself a stronger, better version of myself. I've used drugs and to alleviate the responsibility of putting in the work and the effort to actually make myself better. And a lot of people do that, And I think that one of the definitions of addiction, I think there's many ways to look at addiction. Is to me, like, addiction is when you're basically doing something that you shouldn't be doing, that is hurting you, is holding you back, but you do it anyway because it's easier, because it's the easier choice. And that's why I say that addiction is a choice. I don't believe it is a disease. I think that is a cop-out. I think that people who say that, oh, I have to deal with my disease, I have this disease. Well, if drug addiction was a disease, it's the only disease that you can consciously go buy from somebody. It's the only disease that they sell in a bottle or a vial or a little plastic baggie. It's the only disease that you can immediately stop doing anytime you want. The list goes on. Now, what am I trying to say here? This last week, like about a week ago, I decided to pull kind of a bender. Now, I wasn't doing like hard drugs or anything, but I took modafinil, and I know I made a video a week or two ago talking about modafinil here. And again, modafinil is basically a drug to essentially make you stay awake, make you more alert, focus, kind of make you more sharp. And there is a responsible way to use it. Now, I will fully admit, I am the type of person where if I have a substance, if I have some kind of drug or any mind-altering chemical, even though there's a responsible use for it, I do not have the willpower to use it responsibly on a long-term basis. I just don't. I choose not to. I'm not going to say I have a disease I'm not going to say I have a disease. I'm going to say that I always make the choice to use it the way it's not intended to. So what I did is I decided to stay awake for 3 days, for 72 hours. I decided to chain smoke cigarettes. I smoked 6-pack of cigarettes without sleeping. I drank Red Bulls, Monsters. I didn't really drink any alcohol. I took a lot of phenibut powder, which is like an anti-anxiety powder. And what my thought process was, what my hope was, that I'm going to abuse my body so hard by staying up, not sleeping, chain smoking, putting, drugs, albeit legal drugs, they're still drugs, in my body, to the point where I absolutely never want to go back and use any kind of mind-altering substance again. And for the last, it's been 5 days since I've had a drink of alcohol. Obviously I haven't smoked a cigarette. I took my phenibut powder, I threw it away, I flushed it down the fucking toilet. I told my girlfriend about it. I told my family about it. I told my brother about it. I told some of my friends about it, just to kind of, because I've been very, very down and depressed these last few days, because obviously when you do things like modafinil to excess, it floods your brain with dopamine. And then once you stop doing it, your brain is depleted of dopamine, therefore you're going to be depressed. And I'm really, really driven to make a big change in my life. Not that I've been like a drug addict, like hardcore lately, but I still, every time, like every single day, even to this point, I always feel the need, especially at nighttime. I gotta do something. I gotta drink beers. I gotta get high in some way, because I can't just be comfortable in my own skin. I can't, the last time that I've gone like a couple of weeks without doing any kind of mind-altering substance was I was a teenager. I was a teenager. Like, I'll tell you this, like, for the last year and a half or so, I've been drinking alcohol every single day. And not necessarily like all day long or getting drunk every night, but to the point where I feel a buzz and I'm satisfied with how much I drank. But check this out. The most exciting part of my night when I drink alcohol is going back to my house after I bought alcohol. Like, I'll go to the store, I'll get my beer or my wine or sometimes liquor, and the best part of my night, which is kind of sad, isn't actually drinking, it's going back home to myself, or pardon me, by myself. And then once I start drinking, the initial buzz is nice, but then about 20-30 minutes in, I feel like shit, because I'm putting a poison in my body, and I'm doing it because not because I really want to or because I like the taste, but just for the high, just for the feeling, just for the escape of reality. And I realize how sad that is. It costs me money. It makes me gain weight. It doesn't teach me anything. You know, it's unfortunate, man. So I'm really making an effort to live a pure, clean life because I don't need any of that shit. I'm just as creative. I'm just as funny. I'm just as good of a guy with or without any kind of mind-altering substance. I was talking to a good friend of mine. His name is Bevan, so shout out to Bevan. We were actually talking about this about, you know, is sober life worth it? Is sober life worth it? Is it worth, you know, living the good, clean life and, you know, quote unquote, not having fun or whatever, which is bullshit, of course? Or is it okay to just live your life, drink beer, get high, use drugs, and just kind of use it as a cop out? Well, hey, man, I'm just enjoying my life. Fuck it, dude. You only have one life, right? Just enjoy it. Hey. And he made a good point. He's like, listen, either do it and don't feel guilty about it and own it, or stop doing it. In other words, if you're using drugs on a regular basis, and when I say drugs, that's a blanket term. It could be beer, it could be fucking kratom, it could be smoking cigarettes, it could be anything like that. Obviously cocaine, heroin, pills, all that type of shit. Either, you know, do it and don't feel bad about it and own it and accept what you're doing, and don't blame anybody but yourself, or take personal ownership for what you're doing and stop doing it. And that's kind of what I've realized, is that, you know, I'm tired of being a slave. I'm tired of, you know, feeling this weakness, like I need to drink every night, or I need to do something just to feel comfortable in my own skin, or just not feel bored. And that's so sad. I'm so much better than that. You know, so I'm not making this video. I'm not making this video to say, "Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm sober now." Haha. You know, because I'm not a fortune teller. But I will say that I'm really trying my best to turn a new page, turn a new leaf in my life, because I really feel like myself and a lot of other people, they use alcohol or drugs as a crutch to avoid the burden and the challenge of actually improving yourself, which can be tough to do. You know, like, I've let myself get out of shape, honestly. Like, I'll be honest, man. Like, I've let myself get out of shape. I've let myself, you know, pass up opportunities that probably could have brought me more happiness in my life. And I'm trying to be a personal trainer here in Mexico. And I'm not going to start looking for a job for another couple months. But in the meantime, I need to get my body healthy, strong. I need to, you know, up my Spanish game. I need to improve myself so I can be a good trainer for people. Because who the fuck wants a personal trainer who's got a drinking problem, or who's out of shape, or who doesn't practice what they preach? And I'm just being real. I know there's people watching right now. You're going to criticize me. You're going to say, "Oh, no joke, you know, this and that. You're a piece of shit. I always knew you were this and that." Well, I don't give a fuck, man. At least I got the balls to be real about, you know, about my issues, man. Everybody has their demons. Everybody has problems, man. And I'm putting it out there because I know most of you can relate. And hopefully what I'm saying can resonate with just a few of you, and you guys can take some substance from what I'm saying, and hopefully stop using, you know, drugs and alcohol as a crutch to avoid self-improvement or to combat boredom, when you could actually be improving yourself. You actually do have things to do. You do have things to do. You could be improving a skill, whether it be artwork, making videos, exercising, being a better husband, being a better wife, being a better friend, you know, the list goes on, being a better employee, getting more education, learning a language, doing something. Because the last thing I want to do when I'm drinking or using drugs is learn or work out or improve myself. I just want to sit there and enjoy the ride and get fucked up and then do it again the next day. So I think I've said enough. I hope I made a point here. If you guys want to email me, you guys have any video ideas for No Joke Howard video, or you want me to discuss something in the B-hole, I'll be more than happy to, man. Shoot me an email, guys. nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches. Also, guys, I'm trying to get Insta famous. Follow me on Instagram. All right, at Brayton Howard. It'll be in the description box below and comment section. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.